What's up, beautiful people? How y'all doing? Welcome to Dialogue with the Davises. My name is Cedric, and this is my beautiful wife, Lashana. And we have once again been blessed with the opportunity to sit before you and share in a conversation that we hope leads to some positive conversation, some positive dialogue, and just an overall healthy existence in your relationships and your marriages, man. So, um, again, here we are, man. We back. So, how you been doing, babe? How everything been unfolding for you?
Unfolding.
Yeah, how everything been
It's
unfolding?
been it's been unfolding nicely.
It's been unfolding nicely.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
I heard that. How you been enjoying the start of the school year? Like no nothing.
I mean, we've been doing it forever.
Yeah, man. That's
I mean,
we
it's
yeah.
it's not like it's just
Just school, right?
it's just school.
Bro, for real. We did have our birthday for the month of August though. Jordan, you know what I'm saying? He just
Turned
turned 27.
27.
Man, our oldest child is 27 years old. So imagine we got a 27-year old and a 4-year old. Man, keep us lifted in prayer, please and thank
Absolutely.
you. You know what I'm saying?
Please
Definitely.
do.
Yeah. So, but nonetheless, man, happy and feel blessed and fortunate for our dude to see another year, man. That's definitely beautiful. So all glory to God with regards to that. Um, still proud of him too for the growth and the things that he's recognizing about himself, and you know what I'm saying, the changes that he's making to try to become the best version of himself that he could possibly be,
Hmm.
according to what it is that God created him to be. So man, all glory to God for that, for real. You know what I'm saying? Definitely.
I'm just proud that he's that he made it.
That he made it. I mean, because he got a high school
I
and
mean,
he
listen.
don't live with us no more.
Ooh.
Made it. That's what you're
Yep. That's
talking
that's
about.
what I mean.
Man, bet that's what
That
it
is
is.
exactly what I mean.
Wow,
He
that's
made
crazy.
it.
Yeah,
I
for
want the
real.
other ones to make it.
All of them gonna make it. Yeah, they all to be fine, man. So yeah, that's what it is. But man, we come to you today with a conversation. Is not necessarily one that's specific in nature concerning the topic itself, but is one that we've often had numerous conversations about, and we've had to grow and develop some understanding from it, and just kind of make sure we were on par with regards to the right things and moving in the right direction. So today we're going to kind of be talking about the standards and the things that you reference when it comes to your understanding of being a married man or a married woman, or just the standards that you reference when it comes to identifying as a man or a woman with regards to how you move about in this world. So I first want to say and start the conversation off by acknowledging that when we first got married, I did not know anything about being a husband. I was not adequately prepared. I was not sufficiently prepared, nor did I have a realistic understanding or viewpoint of what it meant to be a husband. Did that show through in the marriage initially? I mean, and be honest.
Absolutely.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it did.
But I think when marriage is new,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody knows what they're doing. I think we're all fumbling around in the dark. I mean, I feel like it's just like anything else. You start a new job, you don't know what you're doing. You
Mm-hmm.
drive a car for the first time, you don't know what you're doing. You can cook something with a whole recipe card and you still don't know what you're doing. So I
Yeah, true.
think, and then, people believe that because they've seen marriage, it's going to make them know what they're doing. No, you just saw someone else doing something, but
Yeah, for
you
real.
still are not going to know what you're doing.
Yeah, for real. That's true.
Because it's not one size fits all. What
Nah.
works in one household won't, necessarily work in another household.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but just looking back on that as well, I also look at and now realize that although I think what I was 25 when we got married, 24, 25, something like that. I was still fairly young. But looking back on it now, I didn't even realize that I didn't know what it meant to truly be a man. You know what I'm saying? Like my version of what I thought manhood was and my standard that I would reference as it relates to manhood in comparison to what I have now is completely different. Like I did not you know now everything I reference the word of God. So my standard for everything comes from the Bible. My standard for how to proceed in marriage, how to proceed in, you know what I'm saying, being a man, a friend,
What you want to eat for dinner?
mentor. Yeah, that as well.
Everything.
And we'll, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
everything.
But everything for me now,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? I reference the word of God. And in doing so, it has given me a different set of standards and a different understanding with regards to how to move as a husband, as a father, and you know what I'm saying, a son, like all of those different things. But again, when I was younger, I always knew God, always had a um, what I would call like one of those not necessarily a relationship with God. I had a situationship, if that what they said.
Uh,
I had an entanglement with God. If that
no,
makes,
you ain't had no entanglement.
it wasn't no
No, it
entanglement.
wasn't an entanglement.
Well, I'm trying to find something. You
It
know what I'm
you
saying?
had a relationship with him. It just wasn't as mature as it is now.
Bet that will say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just I mean
Bet.
relationships mature. It was in its infancy,
Yeah, it definitely was
you
that.
know.
It
So
definitely was that.
because you have a relationship with God based on your parents or based on
Mm-hmm.
whoever raises you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go through life carrying that, and then you wake up and realize that your relationship with God can't be um, on the wings of someone else.
Nah, it can't be.
So
Yeah.
then you know, reintroduce yourself or whatever, and then you start your own relationship
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
God. So you just weren't where you are now. But I think you've always had a relationship with God.
Yeah, I've always believed in Jesus Christ. That's first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? I've never not believed in Christ, but I definitely didn't submit to His will. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Early on in my life. You know what I'm saying?
And just because you believe in him doesn't mean you have a relationship with him.
Yeah, true. It's yeah.
So
I
I
can
mean,
attest to that now.
that
But yeah, definitely I could attest to that. But man, looking back on it, it's almost like having those misunderstandings about manhood and about what it meant to be a husband as well as a dad. It kind of led to some hardships. I feel like in our relationship, because the things that I would reference in terms of when we would hit a difficult time or a difficult spot, um, I wouldn't reference the Bible during that time. I would reference the things of the world, and the world taught that if you're a man that's married, as long as you're paying all of the bills and taking care of
mm-hmm.
home, you acknowledge your wife here and there. You spend a little bit of time with your kids here and there. Um, you know what I'm saying? And we're all adults. You know what I'm saying? Have sex, put it down in the bedroom. Like these are things that you know what I'm saying. The world communicated
What makes you man?
that makes you a man. And it was almost like this alpha male conquer the world type mentality. But you know what I'm saying? I'm now beginning to realize the strength that exists in humility. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like and I feel like I've always been humble, but you know what I'm saying? I'm humble to a different degree now because of my relationship with Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Or you know what I'm saying? I'm humble to a different point now because of me being fully submitted to what it is that God has communicated in His Word as far as what manhood is. And it's crazy because I want to make a quick point to that. For some reason, and I don't know why, but Christian men have been given the false notion, or they've been falsely identified as being weak men for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like and that was something that early on I thought, you know what I'm saying, being a man or a follower of Christ, that you had to be, you know what I'm saying, domicile and not, you know what I'm saying, be able to be, like manly. It was like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying, oh, I always got to take it on the chin and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But nah, that's not what it is at all. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Yeah, I fully understand that's not the standard at all. But stand on point or stand on topic. Like for yourself, what things do you feel like you've been able to grow from as it relates to the standard that you once had? Or has that standard changed? Or did you initially possess the correct standard? You know what I'm saying, when it came to what it meant to be a wife and
Oh yeah, I
what it meant.
started off perfect.
You started off.
Absolutely.
What you go?
I
You just
mean,
go
yeah.
perfect? Wow.
Would you? I mean, you
Listen,
disagree?
I'm gonna go and give you space and let you talk. I'm gonna look at the camera. You know what I'm saying? While you're talking, I'll look at the camera.
No,
Okay.
I feel like I definitely came into the marriage with some ideas that were incorrect or
Mm-hmm.
some behaviors that were incorrect or um, whatever. Definitely. Because you pick up some things along the way. You see things on television. We were lucky because we weren't so indoctrinated with social media coming
Yeah,
in,
yeah, we
but we
didn't have
did
that.
have stuff still,
Yeah,
aunts, uncles, parents, cousins, whatever it was that we, you know, be. I think because so many times when you love someone and you hold them to such a high regard, all of a sudden everything they do is right.
yeah,
When in
definitely.
reality, I have some people that I love
Yeah,
that maybe,
yeah, same.
maybe,
Yeah,
some of their behavior is questionable.
yeah. We not gonna follow that trend.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
maybe I shouldn't
yeah,
speak to my husband that the way that she does. Or maybe I
yeah.
shouldn't behave the way that she does. I love her and I think that she's a great woman. But maybe as a wife, maybe she's a great wife,
Yeah.
just not the wife I
Just
need
not
to
the wife
be.
you aspire to be.
So I think that that's one of the things that we had to, or for me, I had to break away from.
Yeah, navigate and
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
So, because I come from a family of women that are just like rowdy.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, and when and I don't say that like like
no,
I'm trying
not
to be
in a bragging
cute.
way. Yeah, nah,
No,
not
but
at all.
but like the women in my family are like
They strong women.
on the
They
rough
yeah,
side.
yeah,
It's
they
like
yeah,
and
they
and
different.
and not that their husbands aren't strong.
Yeah,
It's just their husbands don't necessarily want to go to jail for
yeah,
killing their wife. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like, but I didn't, initially I thought that's what I had to be or that's what I had to do. And
But let me ask this, and my apologies for cutting you off. I mean, I know you saw that example as it relates to certain things in your family, but how do you feel? You know what I'm saying? As if society played a part in that as well, as far as defining womanhood, especially now as we notice this trend of men and women.
switching places.
Yeah, on the slick. Like, yeah, how do you feel like society was influencing, even at that point of our marriage and at that point of your life? You know what I'm saying? The way you view womanhood. Do you feel like it had any impact at all?
Oh, it absolutely had an impact. I mean, I can't necessarily put my finger on
What it was exactly?
all the things that it was.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe society had something to do with the way the women in my family behaved, and then I saw them and I modeled it.
Yeah, bet I
So
can see
it
that.
was just,
Mm-hmm.
but I do know that society was, or still does, if you say something like, oh, girl, I want to go after work,
Mm-hmm.
let's go have a drink, or let's go have dinner, or
Mm-hmm.
on Saturday, let's go shopping, or whatever it is. No, not go shopping. Don't
Yeah,
ever ask me to go
because you
shopping
don't like
because
shopping.
I'm
Yeah,
not going.
yeah.
I shop with you on Amazon. We can get on the phone and be on app, but going to the mall,
Wow.
I don't want no part of it.
All right.
But if I say, oh well, I'm talking to my husband about it, and I'll let you know. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, you have to get permission from your husband.
Oh, women do that too.
Oh yeah, it's like I'm not getting permission. I just have enough respect for my husband
Mm-hmm.
to run it by him
Yeah, that's what it
and
is.
be like, okay, well, do we have plans where you maybe you had it, on your heart to say, hey, let's go do, but you hadn't gotten to me yet to say,
To say let's
let's
go
go
do.
do.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and anyone who knows me knows that my husband, my children trump everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, if you come to me and say, hey, oh, I really wanted to go do so and so, that I mean, it's not that my priority is my family.
Yeah, I mean, and as it should be. I mean, but again, like you know what I'm saying, as we reference the standards that have been created in society, and you know what I'm saying, the standards that have been created by the world per se, which are those ideologies. It's like there's always been this disruptive nature to try and prevent, you know what I'm saying, some type of cohesion between men and women, especially in men. Because I know early on as well, like men would be, man, so you don't wear the pants, so you got to call your wife and get. And then once I got older, that was one of the things that you know what I'm saying I dealt with quickly, And I was like, yeah, you know, and you know, we made it a joke, but I would say I got to get my pass form signed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I got my, I got my DA-31 signed so I could come hang out tonight. Or, you know what I'm saying? I got me a pass or whatever else. So,
Right.
and we made it out of a joke, and you know what I'm saying? Some other brothers as well, but it was like, why is that seen as a sign of weakness? You know what I'm saying? That I have enough consideration for my wife to confer with her and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? The fellas want to do X, Y, and Z. Do you mind if I go do
Right.
so on? Because you know, I still do that present day, and I think glory to God for Him allowing us to establish that, of me getting to that point. Because even present day, like before, even if I'm going ride by Greg, or you know what I'm saying, if we're getting ready to take a vacation or any decision, before I make it, I always come to you and I'm like, hey, how do you feel about
Mm-hmm.
X, Y, and Z? How do you feel about, you know what I'm saying, me going through so on and so forth? So yeah, I don't think nothing wrong with, you know what I'm
I,
saying, running nothing past
here, you know,
your
my
significant
thing
other.
is always, you know, yes, do need to talk to my husband about it first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no, I'm not going to explain myself to you about what goes on in my household. If you feel the way about it,
So you just be,
no, 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 no. Because I need you to understand, you know, if your home isn't in order, that has nothing to do with me,
yeah, bet,
and
bet.
I'm not going to explain or
Offer an explanation.
well, I mean, you know, I'm not going to explain it, and then I'm not going to try to make you comfortable
Mm-hmm.
with the fact that when we get finished having our drink, or we get finished having dinner, or we get finished doing whatever it is we're doing, I want to go home to peace,
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
I want to go
Yeah.
home to happiness, and you know, I don't want to go home to, you know, now, you know, I haven't talked to you about it, and you know, whatever. I come home and now we're arguing and fussing. I don't want to do
Yeah, that
that.
don't make sense
You
right
know,
there.
so if you can't understand that, and typically the people who will say, oh, you know, you have to get permission, they're the ones who are not necessarily happy,
Yeah,
or they have
definitely.
something going on. Because I've also had friends say, girl, I know that's right. I'm about to call
Yeah.
my husband too
Mm-hmm.
and ask, because, you know, y'all over here making plans. You know,
We need to see what's up.
we need to see what's going on at home.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you can usually tell. And that's not the life I want to live. I want to live a very peaceful life.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important to me. I don't want to, I don't, we're gonna fuss, and
Yeah,
we're
we gonna
gonna
have
argue, and we're
disagreements.
gonna,
Yeah.
you know, but if we can limit them,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm gonna do everything in my power to
Yeah,
do
by all
so.
means, we should do that. I mean, but again, just like you know what I'm saying, expanding upon what you said, it's almost like um, this disruptive behavior that has come into play, especially now, man. Because when we look at television and we look at certain things, it's almost like there's this battle of the sexes. And I know we were talking the other day, and you know what I'm
Oh,
saying.
let me stop you for 1 second.
Uh-huh.
And I do want to say,
Mm-hmm.
because I know that we have friends who watch, you know, these podcasts, or you know, whatever. I don't want anybody looking into my, she's so full of it, because I didn't used to be like
Oh
this,
yeah, nah,
and
nah.
I don't want to make it seem like I've always been
No,
like
we
this.
but that's
You
the
know, I definitely want to make that note, because it used to be I would be like, well,
yeah,
that's
but
what I'm
we've
gonna
grown.
do,
Yeah,
and
we've grown to this point though, and that's the point that I'm making. Like, you know what I'm saying. And the point of this conversation is early on, if we had the proper examples, or if we
right.
had the proper standards to reference, then there were a lot of things that we, you know what I'm saying, had to endure as husband and wife. A lot of heartache, a lot of hardships, a lot of, you know what I'm saying, disagreements and confusion that we could have avoided if we
Oh,
just had the
absolutely.
proper standard to reference. Like I think
Or if
we
we had
were
mentors then,
yeah,
because
like
I don't
either
think,
yeah,
right.
or either mentors that you know what I'm saying we trusted in that capacity, because that's even something, you know what I'm saying, that's another thing, like having somebody that you trust in that capacity, giving them permission to be able to access your marriage and so on and so forth. But now, not only having a mentor giving them permission to act, but now what is the mentor you're referencing, what are they doing? You know what I'm saying? Because you if I'm a guy and I'm talking to another guy about marriage, and dude cheating on his wife, or he doesn't treat his
Well,
wife
then
well,
that wouldn't be your mentor
but
then.
I'm saying though, but again, the standards that are in place, like some men have viewed in the past, because I once viewed it in the past, like this guy has a big home, he has a nice car,
Hmm.
he and his wife on the surface they seem to be happy. I see him flirt with women, but you know what I'm saying, the standard that society gives is oh, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But now I understand completely different. So now if I'm seeking advice from this brother, you know what I'm saying, and his stuff is not necessarily in alignment the way it should be, like, you know what I'm saying, it's the blind leading the blind. So again, like how you say, just with the mentorship or just the examples of the standards, it should have been, if we would have had that initially, I think we could have avoided some you know what I'm saying, some heartache on a slick, like.
Yeah.
But then again, how willing would we have been? Do you feel like if some of the things that you know now would have been present or would have been at the forefront of, you know what I'm saying, being present for you at that particular time, do you feel like you would have been um, willing to accept those things and apply them, or do you feel like there would have been some resistance?
I would have absolutely received it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much I would have applied. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like I would have absolutely, if I had had someone who would have said, you know, you shouldn't talk to that man like that.
mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say past relationships, because I don't think I've ever. I know in my past relationships I've been disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever been disrespectful to you.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone had said to me, no, that's not the move.
Mm-hmm.
I would have listened,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if it would have made me behave different.
Yeah, definitely.
I would have trusted that person enough to listen. I wouldn't have been like, oh, you don't know, I wouldn't have cursed them out or something, because I value the people I love. I value, and the people I value, I love. So, I would have listened, but I can't say that I would have necessarily done or applied what it was that was being told to me. But I definitely would have received it.
Yeah, I mean, because I think it's that battle that takes place and still present day, because there are things that, you know what I'm saying, from our past that we still, you know what I'm saying, wrestle and deal with. Right. And we have to make sure we properly identify what those things are and address them in the correct manner. But I think it was that whole level of confusion that the world was putting out, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I feel like marriages and families are still, like, they suffer present day. You know what I'm saying? You know, we talk on a regular, and it's like, it's been something that I've almost become fixated on as of late, which is the way that the enemy attacks families and marriages, and, you know what I'm saying, all of these different unions that are supposed to be unions of fellowship and unions of, you know, each other building one another up and things of that nature. But it's almost like they're at odds in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? Like parents aren't necessarily addressing their kids the way that they need to address their kids, and, you know, husbands aren't addressing their wives, and wives aren't addressing their husbands the way that they need to be addressed, and friendships and relationships, like man, you know, I'm fortunate, and I feel all right, beautiful people.
We're back.
You gonna say we back? Say, man, listen. So check this out. We had some technical difficulty while we were in the middle of recording, so we gonna finish up this conversation that we were having though. You know my mindset. You know, I feel like that wasn't nothing but the enemy. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, we're gonna get back to the conversation that we were having, which is standards.
Okay.
Yeah. So you ready?
I'm ready.
And go.
Go.
But nah, man, just getting back on point or getting back on topic though. I really and truly feel like right now there's definitely an intentional attack on families and relationships and marriages and things of that nature. And you know, it's something that I've become extremely intentional about, and it's something that I feel like the Spirit of God has led me to focus on, not only in a way where I'm trying to be the best version of myself and lead our family correctly, but also just, you know, anyone that we're connected to and anyone that we're aligned with, just sharing with them what it is that God has done in our lives and how He's revealed some things to us, and how, you know what I'm saying, you know, the Bible says to you know what I'm saying, not be conformed to this world, but to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's definitely been pivotal for us. You know what I'm saying? Our thought process and our ideologies and the things that we would reference in terms of what we thought we needed to pay attention to in marriage versus what we didn't feel like we needed to pay attention to. And so I'm definitely grateful to be in that space and there now. But let me ask this because we didn't always let me say I didn't always lead our family correctly. So I take ownership of that. Like I never want to have it be a place where I give you a charge that is undeserving of you. So I didn't always lead our family correctly, but now understanding that, how do you feel like it's been beneficial for us as it relates to our relationship as husband and wife, and just, you know what I'm saying, friends, and as parents and as sons, and as a son and as a daughter, now us being intentional concerning our relationship with God, and referencing his word for our standard versus, you know what I'm saying, what the world says. How do you feel like that's benefited and you know what I'm saying, helped us?
I think one of the things we don't, okay, so you don't
Hmm.
get angry as fast, and then that keeps me calmer
Yeah.
because I am very reactive.
Hmm.
I know that I shouldn't be reactive,
Hmm.
but I am. I typically, and it again, it's not a thing I'm proud of, but
Yeah.
I do. I am one of the people that kind of match energy,
Hmm.
and that's something I'm trying to grow out of. I want to get to a place where the way someone else behave does not affect me,
Yeah,
but I'm
definitely.
not there yet. I'm better.
Yeah, way, yeah, a
I'm
lot
way
better. Yes.
better, but I'm not there yet. So you being more intentional about being calm and not responding a certain way, or not getting angry as quickly, or being more patient, being more kind. I mean, you were always kind, but
Yeah, I
being
had
more
my moments.
kind,
Yeah,
yeah, more,
definitely.
being that is very helpful. Where I get to kind of see an example
Hmm.
and kind of follow that example, because before it would be like, oh,
That's what
that's
we
what we're
doing.
doing. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
that's what we gonna do. Yeah,
Okay,
we.
I
That's how
got
we
it.
rocking.
That's
Yeah,
what we're doing today, and that made me feel crazy.
yeah,
And
definitely.
I know that I'm a person that and again I do I want to continue getting better,
Hmm.
but I can feel the crazy stir up in me. Like
Yeah,
I can
definitely.
feel someone say something or do something. I can feel it, and it's like there's something inside me saying, no,
Hmm.
don't do that. And the other part of me is like, this is what we're doing.
Saying that,
So
but you've definitely grown. I'm talking about leaps and bounds when it comes to that, because yeah, you used to let people have it, like, and
yeah.
not on some like just wanting to fight or whatever, but you're like, you're a verbal assassin,
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're a verbal
That
like,
sounds horrible.
nah, we just like you
That sounds
like
terrible.
you were a verbal assassin.
No,
You know
it
what I'm saying?
wasn't that bad.
Oh, okay, so
It
like,
was,
so moving on, you know what I'm saying? You've grown a lot in that regard. So, but again, I think that, you know what I'm saying, I attribute and I give all glory and honor to God, and for what it is that He's done in our life. Because again, and we've said this on previous podcasts, man, it's nothing but God that,
absolutely.
you know what I'm saying. God breathed something new into us, and He infused something new into us, and um, I don't want to say like, you know what I'm saying, we in him doing so that we didn't have to do any work, because we also had to do, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, the work behind what it is that God was inspiring us to do. But once we were being inspired to do those things, it's like we picked up the charge that had been given to us, and it was like, all right, come on, let's get it.
Yeah.
And again, I know we still have some things that we are communicating through and that we still wrestle with, and we, you know what I'm saying, and I think that'll be, I think that'll be forever and ever. Amen. I don't think there's a such thing as a perfect relationship, and you know what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah, I think you'll
I mean, but
always.
you're a forever learner.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
You learn until the day you die.
Hmm.
You are always learning something.
If you're
So
willing to learn.
if you're willing to learn, you will apply it.
Yeah,
But even if you're not willing to learn, you still learn
you
some
still
stuff.
learn
You
something. Yeah.
still, you might learn a word.
Hmm.
You might not use that word ever.
Hmm.
You still learned
But
it.
you still learned it. Yeah.
So if you are wise,
Yes.
you apply it and then use it.
Hmm.
But if you decide not to, then it just ends up being that you just keep following the same rock, or keep turning the corner and the person keeps hitting you with the same
Over
brick
and
or
over, yeah.
whatever it is. But I mean, we're forever learners.
Yeah, definitely, and I think us being in a situation or in a space where we and I'm not gonna say we humbled ourselves. I'll say God humbled us. Like,
Oh
yeah, like,
yeah,
yeah, I know I
God has
was,
humbled me a couple times. I was like, ooh,
yeah, for real. So God
ooh,
definitely humbled us
okay,
and allowed us to get to a space. And I know, like, as we were being, you know what I'm saying, healed, and as we were growing, we were both, you know what I'm saying, being made aware of the fact of how much marriages and families, you know what I'm saying, were actually being, because it was like being attacked. Because it was times that you and I would be at each other's neck, and it was because I would reference some standard or some ideology that the world had given me, and I was holding on to a position, and it was dumb. Like it was,
yeah,
it was like looking back on it now, I see that it was. So it was almost like, you know what I'm saying, because my mindset now is, you know what I'm saying, I love you more than, you know what I'm saying, I'm willing to hate you. If that mean,
mm-hmm.
like I'm more intentional about loving you as it relates to what God has identified in His Word for me to, you know what I'm saying, do as a husband, than I am being committed to the fact of being upset or angry or
Mm-hmm.
whatever else. Like, to me, it just doesn't, you know what I'm saying. But there was a time where I was like, oh no, she gonna feel this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad, she gonna know I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm frustrated, she gonna know I'm frustrated. And what I didn't understand was is not only was I injecting or infusing, like, you know what I'm saying, a lot of poison into our marriage, but it was like I was preventing us from being able to move past certain things, you know what I'm saying? And when I was praying to God, God wasn't hearing the God, like, how you say, Brian, how you gonna be praying to me and but you mad with your wife?
Right.
Because that was something that I had to be humbled on as well. Like, there were times early on in our marriage where I was praying for you, and it had nothing to do with what God was saying. It was almost like, God, make her understand, and God, make her do it. And you know what I'm saying? It was like, but that's that,
Yeah.
even that standard that was provided. You know what I'm saying? So, but it wasn't until I was humbled, and you know what I'm saying, I asked God to teach me how to pray for you, and I asked God to reveal to me what it is that I needed to say, that He began working on my heart, and He began doing things within me that, you know what I'm saying, translated into the prayers that I submitted for you, because my prayer life completely changed what for you in our marriage following that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It was no longer like make her see things my way. It was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? This is your daughter. You created her. You know what it is that she needs. I'm just here to work in unison with what it is that you're doing. So I give her and our marriage back to you
Yeah.
for you to do as you see fit and for your will to be done. So it's like that started making so much more of a difference in terms of us getting to a space of being able to have certain conversations or the way we view one another. You know what I'm saying? Like I often say, like, we're a team.
Yeah.
What are we a house divided against itself, you know what I'm saying, it won't be able to stand. That's in the Bible. Like Jesus said, a house divided, you know what I'm saying, it won't. So it's like, if we beefing with each other instead of attacking the problem,
Right.
like, you know what I'm
That
saying,
goes back to people. Everybody wants to be right.
because
I
that's the
think.
standard.
Yeah. I think
The
though. I
world
think.
standard is you have to be right.
Yeah. I think when people are more concerned with being right than fixing something.
Mm-hmm.
I was right about they this, or I was right that they were going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that you were right, now what are we going to
Now
do?
what? Yeah.
Now where are we going with it? But I think it's just like I'm good. I just want to be right.
Yeah,
Now I don't need to.
but I ain't fixing nothing though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's
So
horrible right there.
I mean, it's just one of those things. But I definitely recognize that you changing the way you dealt with us
Mm-hmm.
in our relationship, us being husband wife, us being friends, us being parents, whatever. Like I said before, it gave me something to follow, to
Mm-hmm.
see, and to be comfortable with.
Yeah.
Because I think as long as someone is bringing hell to you, it's hard to follow that.
Yeah,
It
definitely,
is very
definitely.
difficult to. You don't feel inspired to do right by someone or to someone or for someone that you feel some kind of way about.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
like I don't feel compelled to make some amazing dinner if you've done something I
Yeah, and
didn't.
I'm talking crazy,
You know,
or
it's
handling
like
you bad or whatever. Yeah.
in reality, I'm thinking
Better.
if I were you, I wouldn't eat this.
Say, you know me, I'm good. Yeah, I ain't.
You
You hungry
hungry?
tonight? Nah, I'm straight. I'm gonna just go grab something. Nah, I'm good. You
We
know
gonna
what I'm saying?
order out.
Yeah, yeah, because boy.
You know, it's, I mean, but you know, so I don't know. I just feel like that definitely that growth has benefited the whole family. It hasn't just been a thing where you've benefited from it. It's benefited all of us.
Yeah, and again, you know what I'm saying. You know, giving all glory and honor to God, and man, it was like as I was submitting to Christ. You know what I'm saying, and I was submitting my will and getting to a place of like, because you know, even recently, there's been some other things that, because you know, at one point in time, it was like, man, I ain't living nowhere, but then you know what I'm saying, like, God, why you breathing like that? Whatever. But you know, it's been some other things as of late where God is, you know what I'm saying, his work on me, and like now my standard of what it is that I believe to be true is completely different.
Yeah.
It's like man, I was looking at that wrong, you know what I'm saying? I was looking at that bad, and I'm humble enough to say and admit like man, look, yeah, that was bad. Like I did
Yeah.
that, you know, my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do like Adam did when God came in the garden and was like, Adam, he was like, hey, you gave her to me. I ain't gonna be like, God, you gave
I
her.
don't suggest that.
Yeah, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But
I don't suggest
no, I'm
that.
not. But because it's my responsibility as the leader of our family to ensure that I'm submitting to Christ, and as I submit to Christ, like you said, it provides a standard of living in our home. You know what I'm saying? Like how you say even with the understanding that we arrive to as far as exercising certain things towards one another. Like again, that's biblical. Like the fruits of the spirit, you know what I'm saying, are identified in God's word. So anytime I'm not operating in one of those spaces and I'm operating in those things that are identified as being of the flesh, I know like say I'm out of alignment. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in a proper position for me to even be empowered in this moment because I'm fighting against what it is that God has instructed me to do. You know what I'm saying? So but again, I know even that process as we began that journey, it wasn't easy for either one of us. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that wasn't something that was just simple for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like cuz I know for me it was humbling and it was difficult, but you receiving that going from like, okay, man, Cedric, like all right, you been cool with God, but nah, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like God ain't just in here with us no more. He running the whole
Yeah.
situation. You know what I'm saying? Like how like we just done gave him free reign, bro. Like what's
Yeah.
up? We ain't gonna
Yeah.
say you know what I'm saying? So how was that transition for you though? Like and how is that transition still for you present day? How's that whole thing?
What What are you asking me?
Like so I'm asking you how was that transition been? I know we see now, you know what I'm saying, the benefits and how God has blessed us, but when it was initially taking place, how was that for you?
It hard.
It was difficult?
Yeah. I mean, because you meet someone and you fall in like with the representative, and then you fall in love with the real them,
Yes.
and then there are certain things about you that really drew me to you. And then you one day were like, yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. And it was like,
Yeah, no, I was.
well,
Yeah. Yeah, because I used to be rowdy. Like,
and
yeah.
yeah,
And you used to like I was
I,
rowdy.
yeah,
What the?
yeah,
So, because I was
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's crazy, though.
yeah,
Like, boy, I was putting all our lives in danger. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm around here, I'm ready to snap off, and I'm popping off, and you know what I'm saying? We don't know. Boy, we was living dangerous.
yeah, a
And
little
you
bit,
liked it.
a little bit.
Wow. That's crazy.
And so then when you were like, well, no, then that did take some, adjusting. It's still, I'm still adjusting.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know,
Me too.
when I am expressing myself,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, hey, watch your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
but I don't know another word for that. Like
Oh,
that's
talking about when you use your colorful
yeah.
words?
Like I'm
Yeah.
like I don't know another word. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. This is like this is my language.
Yeah, you.
And
Yeah.
now you're telling me I have to speak a different language. So
Yeah.
that so what? How do I? What am I supposed to
Oh yeah,
say?
you was the cussing champ.
I mean, you know,
10 years running. You was, boy, ooh.
I mean, you know,
Boy, you
so
used to cuss good too.
yeah,
It's waning, you know what I'm saying? You don't cuss nowhere near. You barely cuss now at
yeah,
all. But boy, ooh, you was the, ooh, wee.
yeah. I had a couple belts,
Yeah. You was in there.
you know. So,
Yeah.
and so now I'm just like, you know, and every now and then, and it's funny because now when I say it and you don't say, okay, that's enough, I'm like,
Oh, so you be
I got away
celebrating
with
that?
it.
Wow. I just wasn't paying attention to something in the moment. Had to
It's
be.
like, you know, yeah, whew, you
Yeah.
know, so, or I'll say something and be like,
He didn't catch that
you
one.
know,
Yeah.
so it is still difficult.
Mm.
But again, I think that it's part of learning, and I don't know that learning is ever easy.
Nah, it's not.
So I just think that this is just going to be the duration. I
Yeah.
think
Oh, this the
if it's
standard
not
now. Yeah.
this, then we'll be growing in a different area,
Yeah.
and then that will be hard, and then we'll be growing in another area, and that will be hard. You know, so you know, it was different.
But I and it definitely was different. But I will say like the peace and the joy and the overall experience of what it is that we have now, not perfect,
Hmm.
not perfect, but what we have now is definitely more
Calm.
satisfying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's definitely more intentional. It's definitely more um, peaceful. Like
and more
it's
grown up.
yeah, it's more mature. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's those things, but it's because I feel like we started to reference the right standard. You know what I'm saying? The standard that we had been given previously, it just wasn't accurate. Like
Yeah.
it just wasn't what we needed to reference, especially because it came to a point where and I would tell you, man, I desire to have a biblical marriage. Like it was like God was pressing that up on me, like the spirit of God was pressing that up on me, and I was like, nah, I want us to have a biblical marriage. I want us to, and I knew, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't no, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, I knew it would be a process and everything else, and I never felt like you were rejected. I didn't, you know what I'm saying, I never felt like you would be, oh no, cause the thing about it was crazy. God was always involved in our situation.
Yeah. He always was
Always
involved.
like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. Like sometimes I'll come across the letter that you wrote to God. You know what I'm saying. And when I come across that, it's humbling. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying. And there are different things that at a certain point in time when I'm sitting in a moment of quietness, like it's humbling. You know what I'm saying. Just to look at from then to now, and it becomes overwhelming at times, not in a bad way, but just in a very humbling and thoughtful way, to be able to say like, man, look at what God has done. You know what I'm saying? Not because of us being worthy or not because of but He saw fit to
Hmm.
allow us to get to this point. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
everybody doesn't.
Everybody, that's
Everybody
what I'm
doesn't.
saying. But and that's the thing that like because we're both passionate about like we talk about that on a lot, man, on a regular like how can we ensure that we're stewarding our family properly, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, developing healthy habits, developing healthy ideologies, nurturing those healthy ideologies, giving them the correct standard, like
Hmm.
certain stuff that we watch on television when we see is off balance or whatever, we like, whoa, that's
Hmm.
say this ain't the standard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like y'all know this ain't it.
This is not real.
This is
This is
not
camera
real. This is
magic.
camp. Yeah, you know what I'm
This is
saying.
not real.
So I think in not just in marriages and you know what I'm saying, intimate relationships of that nature, but just even other dynamics of life as well. Like if I feel like if we have the correct standard, that it'll save us a lot of heartache. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I do. I really do. I was talking to Greg this morning, and he and I were talking, and I was just sharing with him some things that unfolded in during my devotional time with God and my time spent with God this morning. And it's like God is so intentional, and when we're praying, He'll answer our prayers. But the majority of the time, for me anyway, the answer to those prayers are not presented in a manner in which I was expecting. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? It's like God has answered the prayer, and I'm like, what? But where is it? And then when I take the time to sit still and be present with Him, He'll reveal to me, and I answered that already.
I,
You know what I'm
I,
saying? Look,
yeah.
that's done. So
It's like go back through your text messages and you'll see I already responded.
Yeah, yeah, for real. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, and my thing still be because I got a iPhone. You know what I'm saying? So the thing be blue. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I don't think God got no Android. Man, let me stop.
At
let me
all.
let me
He
man.
God
I'm
does not
I'm
have
I'm,
an.
I'm playing. Let
I'm
me
not.
stop.
God don't have no Android.
Let's stop.
God don't have no Android.
Say, listen, whatever God has, you know what I'm saying?
God has iPhone.
Whether the bubble is blue or green, I'm just grateful that he's sending a message. In seriousness. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody gonna look at that and be like, "Sit by them people play
Well,
too
I
much."
mean, but God told him don't eat the apple because he was gonna put it on the phone.
Wow. See what I'm saying? Like I'm not even
It's on
about
the
to
back
go.
of it.
I'm not
Uh,
I'm not about to go. So listen, I'm not even about to go that route. That's a whole nother can of worms, man. But
no
in
Androids.
all seriousness, like having the correct standard to reference,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like is extremely important with regards to relationships. Like I can't say that enough. Like I really cannot say that enough. Like parenting, like I'm a different parent now. Like
Because you're more calm.
man, the way I dealt with Jordan versus the way I deal with Saint is night and day. And like even man be getting away with like not necessarily getting away, but you know what I'm saying. Like the way that I discipline him is different than what it was.
Because I think with Jordan, it was like I have to show the people who are watching me parent that
Yeah,
I am not gonna put up with
like
anything.
I'm not
That
playing that.
I'm gonna be,
Yeah,
I have to show the people.
yeah,
And
for
then
real.
finally it was like you wake up and you say, I really don't care what the people think.
I
Like
need
these
my
are my
baby to know I
kids and
love
I
him.
need my children to know I love them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want like I hear all the time people say, because my children are afraid of me. And you're bragging about that.
Yeah,
I don't want my children to be afraid of me.
I want
I
them to
want them to
revere me.
respect
Yeah,
me.
I
I
want them to
want them to
revere me.
say, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to disappoint my parents,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't want to lose my parents' respect, or I don't want to disrespect my parents.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to not do something because they're afraid, because then when they're not living with us anymore, and this is something where, okay, we didn't want them to do something because it was going to save their life.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, oh, I don't live at home anymore. Now I can do it.
Yeah,
Now they're not afraid anymore. Now they do it, and now something terrible
yeah, that's
happens.
all bad.
You
Yeah,
know, so it's I don't want the children to be afraid of us. You know, and I really don't care what other people think
mm-hmm.
about the way we raise our children.
Mm-hmm.
We have really good children.
Yeah, we're
We have
blessed.
really, really, really good
Yeah, we're
children,
blessed. Yeah,
and they're
definitely.
very respectful.
Mm-hmm.
What they do at school,
Mm-hmm.
I I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a teacher call and say, hey, your child was up here cutting up,
Yeah, nah.
whatever. But I can't. I'm not gonna be the parent that's like my kids are perfect,
No,
because
we're not
I'm not
saying that,
saying that.
but we blessed,
But
man.
they
Like,
are
yeah.
very respectful children,
Mm-hmm.
and but they're not afraid of us. They're not, and they shouldn't be.
But that's because we changed out. We again, and I know I'm beating it up, but like the standard changed. Like the standard became more loving and nurturing from my perspective. Because
Right.
you've always been that. You know what I'm saying?
I told you I start off perfect. I
We
said that in the beginning.
but
I
whatever.
said that
What
my
listen.
opening statement was I started off perfect.
Okay, and your opening statement is stricken from the record. You know what I'm saying? What them lawyers say, strike it from the record. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we not.
Oh.
That's it. But in all seriousness though, man, yeah, we've gotten to a place where, cause I know last time it's been a few months now, but I remember London had, I think he stayed on this game longer than he was supposed to or something like that. And I came home and I was like, this guy's just being hard headed, and I was like, I'm about to get at his top. And you know what I'm saying? God was like, say, come read your word before you yeah, come consult me. Come see what it is that I say about how you're to discipline him. And what I initially was going to do, you know what I'm saying, and what I ultimately wind up doing,
Completely different.
completely different. But it's because I took a minute and stopped and hit the pause button and took time to reference what it is that, God has said in his word versus what it is that, you know what I'm saying, I may have
Because you were gonna respond in the flesh.
I definitely I was in my flesh.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I was in my flesh. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but but again, man, like And I know this topic wasn't like many that we've had, and I know it's, you know what I'm saying, the conversation didn't flow the way that it would normally flow, with regards to what we were talking
I think
about.
it's
But
okay to sometimes have a light conversation.
yeah, but this is not necessarily light to me per se, because it's extremely important, because I
Yeah.
want everybody to understand like that a lot of what the world is providing, as far as, you know what I'm saying, context is concerned, and as far as reference points are concerned, is not doing them any good in establishing sound marriages
Hmm.
that have the ability to become empowered and, you know what I'm saying, impactful in the world and in the environment and the spaces that are around them. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, there has to be consideration given to those things that you know we reference as the standard, that we reference as, if I'm having an issue with this, because everybody Googles everything, right?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Or YouTube it.
a YouTube it or whatever, but it's like, but is that information or the guidance that you're being given, is it sound? You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be sound. Like, man, I know, like one of my scriptures I reference on a regular basis is, you know what I'm saying, whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will soon suffer harm. So it's like,
Hmm.
I don't want to seek after counsel from individuals who, you know what I'm saying, who gonna ultimately lead me to suffering some type of harm, or ultimately negatively impact my family. So, you know what I'm saying. But again, this was something that was heavy in my spirit today, and probably because of my devotional time this morning. It's like, man, you know what I'm saying. I was telling Greg earlier, man, I feel I'm filled, but not filled in a way where it's heavy, but you know what I'm saying, like joyful, because
Hmm.
of just my time this morning. And that happens often, but today it feels different.
Right.
And today it was like, you know what I'm saying, like the standard, you know what I'm saying, being disciplined, exercising obedience, like those things are pivotal, because a lot of the stuff that we get into, and a lot of the things that, you know what I'm saying, cause us issues or problems, is because of our own doing, because we're referencing the wrong
Absolutely.
thing and the wrong standard. So, man, I know, and I done did a majority of the talking today. You ain't that, and that's unheard
You
of,
just
boy.
talk so much.
Boy,
I
you
just feel
just
like
listen.
you shouldn't.
So
You
today,
just
yeah,
talk a lot.
today I was able to get it in
I
today,
couldn't
huh?
say anything.
Yeah, that's all right. You got
Just.
something you want to say?
Mm-mm.
See what I'm saying? Yeah. I say I like that.
Oh, so you want me to be quiet?
No, 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 no. That's
Is
what
that
I'm
what you're
not.
saying?
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, stand on
Nah,
it.
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. No,
Okay.
no. What happened is this, and this is real talk.
No,
This
it's
is what
not, because
happened.
that's why your face is no,
What?
no. You always with that face when you about to say something. Go
No,
ahead.
this is what happened.
All right.
So today you deferred to me. You know what I'm saying? Being that I am the leader of our family, and you allow me to take the forefront in this particular situation, because of what it is that I was feeling in this present time. How that sound? You gonna ball your face up? You ain't gonna be like, "Oh, that was good."
Okay.
No, it's too late.
Wait.
Don't worry. The
What?
moment is
Okay. Wait.
past.
No. No. Give me one more chance.
It's
Say.
too late. It's too
Give me the
late.
short
I
version.
can't.
Just
Cause
just give me a little bit. Look. Come on. I got it this
you
time.
you let me be in the forefront. Short version.
You're absolutely correct.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Listen, we've come to that point in the conversation where we want to be respectful of everyone's time. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties, but we're not production experts or anything like that, man. We just trying to provide some positive content for people to reference, and you know what I'm saying, be completely honest and transparent about our growth. So please forgive us. But that being said, you know
But
what I'm saying.
check it out.
What?
This is the first video we've done with
Mm-hmm.
no children in the house.
Nah, we got 1 hour kids. Yeah,
I'm. She's. That don't count. She's an adult.
yeah, she ain't had no
And
class today.
she
Yeah,
and there was no parkour, there was no
yeah, no
aerobics,
noise or nothing.
there
Nah.
was no gymnastics, there was
See,
no.
that's why they camera cut off.
It was
it was
something was gonna
yeah.
happen.
It was
It
it was like, nope, I'm gonna disrupt something. But yeah,
something
but nah, but it's all good.
because it felt didn't it feel different?
Yeah, it
It
did.
felt a little
Cause
bit
we ain't
like
heard that. Said we used to that chaos. Huh? That's crazy. Huh?
yeah.
But it don't be. We be saying it's chaos in the moment. But I think if we didn't have that in our lives, we would be like, man, this is whack. What is what
This
is
is
this? Like,
boring.
yeah, what are we
What is
doing? Yeah, for
happening?
real. So I think it's a beautiful thing. But again, we've come to that point in the conversation where we want to be respectful of everyone's time. We thank you for spending time with us and in this conversation. Again, as always, hopefully it leads to some type of positive conversation or some type of positive dialogue between you and your significant other, as well as in your friend groups and in your families. And hopefully, man, it leads to some type of application where you begin to reference the correct things as it relates to standards versus the things that the world is giving us. Because, man, the world trying to set us up for failure. So um, that being said, please continue to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification button when with regards to the video, so you know when we drop new videos. And please continue to feedback. Please continue to share with your friends. And man, let's just continue to, as a community, have positive conversations and positive dialogue that leads to the narrative being changed, where um, it's not a thing where families are completely under siege and marriages are under siege, but we begin to see some positive things take place. So with that being said, you sure you don't have nothing else to say? Nothing else to
No,
offer?
you didn't let me talk this time.
I did not let you talk this time. So this should have been dialogue with
It's just
Cedric, huh?
I
That's
could
what you're
I could have
saying?
been on the other side of the camera. If I could have stopped the camera from going off. I could have just been
Man, see, that's
the
why.
cameraman.
Man, whatever. Listen, we about to get up out these people here, man. So look, y'all have a blessed remainder of the evening. We love y'all. We pray that this is being impactful and something positive. You know what I'm saying? Have a blessed remainder of the day. Peace.